Look at this bonding moment. I actually think it's time to give Christie Sides a little credit. What do they say? Let your praise be as loud as your criticism was. And you could see Clark and Sides sitting there with a little bit of a heart to heart, whatever's going on. I'm not exactly sure. But this photo, courtesy of Matthew Byrne here, who says Christie Sides and Caitlyn Clark talked courtside for the last approximately 15 minutes before Sides talked to the media. Sides, oh, just basketball talk, life talk, catching up. And the Fever are starting to catch up to their expectations. A lot of us thought that Sides might have been in over her head. And look, she's not completely off the hook. There's a lot of season left to be played. But I do want to give her some credit for some of the things that have actually been done that may have led to this turnaround for the team. Aaliyah Boston is the player of the week right now in the league. After struggling all season, she winds up the Eastern Conference player of the week. And we've seen her and Caitlyn Clark start to get a groove together. She recorded a double-double in all 3 games, averaging 20 points, 13 boards. And there was the one game where Clark was sitting on the bench at the end of the game. Sides had put Boston in to try and get her a rhythm, to try and establish her, maybe get her confidence up, right? And then there was the next game on the schedule, which the Indiana Fever won, and Clark only had 7 points, I believe. And a lot of Caitlyn Clark fans were like, she wasn't involved enough. She's being frozen out of the offense, all these things. When I think really what Sides was trying to do was establish Boston and Mitchell. Establish Boston and Mitchell and get them going a little bit to alleviate all that defensive pressure that comes in Caitlyn Clark's direction. The first game I referenced was the second half against the Connecticut Sun, and then the next game against the Atlanta Dream. And then all of a sudden, Clark has the big breakout performance against the Chicago Sky in a game that set all sorts of ratings records, by the way. That rivalry people are definitely interested in. There's no question. It was the most watched WNBA game on any network in 23 years, which is pretty amazing to think about since both of the young women featured there are 22 years old. So meaning in their lifetimes. But, Caitlyn Clark herself has been responsible for so much of this growth and so much of this explosion. And people do want to see her play. They want to see her shoot the ball. They want to see her do her thing, pass the ball. 6 networks have set records for their most watched WNBA games ever this season. Every single one has featured Caitlyn Clark, which is pretty remarkable when you think about it. But now the team is starting to play better. Indiana is starting to play better. And some of those players that Sides, I believe, tried to get involved are beginning to play better and establish themselves. And that takes pressure off of Caitlyn Clark. And I don't think Clark has been told, not to play her game or not to, shoot the ball from deep or anything like that. And I saw the stat, by the way, yesterday that over the last handful of games, the Fever's offensive rating is on par or better than what the Liberty's is for the season. Meaning, and the Liberty have the top offense on the season, meaning that the Fever's offense over the last handful of games has been better than the best team's offense in the league. That's something. You can't just ignore that. And they're getting multiple players in double figures, multiple players contributing. The coach deserves some kudos. Now, the team could get even better with the return of Teme Fagbenle, who played great with Clark just off natural chemistry. And as you can see, Fagbenle back on the court. Still looks like she's running a little gingerly there to me. There's Kelsey Mitchell. She likes to shoot the ball. We all know that. But Fever back at practice, getting some work in. And Sides also gave an update on Fagbenle and how close she might be to returning to the lineup for the team. Here is what the coach had to say.
Yeah, I don't know how close she is, but just to have her out there and to have her voice and her leadership, it's just huge for us. And it just gives you a sense of hope that it's going to be sooner than later. Yeah, I don't know how
So,
close.
I mean, I that's not a very descriptive answer there from Christie Sides, but you can even sense in her demeanor that she seems to be a little bit more comfortable in the position right now. You know, she had the whole effort quote, obviously, that blew up. I didn't like when she shared the Caitlyn Clark monster quote that she shared out there because I thought that blew up Clark's spot, and I'm not sure why she shared that in the first place. But she has gotten this team going in the right direction, and she seems to me to be a little bit more comfortable in her position right now. And it seems that Caitlyn Clark and her might be developing a little bit of a rapport. I mean, I don't know if one photo of them on the sideline is enough to tell you that, but it is enough to say that this team is going in a better direction. We're seeing that already. And for those of you who think that Sides is holding Clark back or trying to dampen her game, I mean, look at this number. She has an average 3-point shot distance of 28 feet. That is further than Trae Young has ever shot from, Damian Lillard has ever shot from, Steph Curry has ever shot from. So I don't think Christie Sides is trying to keep Caitlyn Clark from playing her game. I think she was trying to get the rest of the team to play the game at the same time as Caitlyn Clark because Clark needed Boston to start playing like she's played. And now that she is, and now that they've got that chemistry on those little, short rolls and passes into the lane, now that Kelsey Mitchell is getting buckets at the same time, and Melissa Smith is involved in the offense at the same time, throw Fagbenle and the way she's able to run the floor and cut into that, Katie Lou Samuelson spotting up from three, all of a sudden, Fever might be onto something. You don't want to get carried away, but they've played their hardest schedule. They're going to have easier opponents, better rest in between. They're currently situated in the playoffs. Caitlyn Clark continues to get better and better. Maybe we're talking about this as a playoff team. And maybe we're continuing to ride this train during this rookie season. And maybe we should hold off on firing the coach.